Hello and welcome to this. Is it a tutorial? It might be a tutorial video or kind of an adventure to see if we can create a Minecraft style sun. So that's where you've got like a giant pixel that slides around your world. So at the moment we haven't got a sun. I've switched off all the suns. In the last tutorial we made like a realistic sun orbit or rotate around our world. I'm going to try a similar thing but with a big pixel sun. As I said, don't worry, I've still got my my ball fountain still works. There we go. So I've got that. That's all we've got in the world. So we need to create some light. Let's go and do that. There we go. Oh, okay, right. So we're in Unity now, and as you see, we've just got our egg. That that was my like ball fountain. We've got a terrain brain, which I've made in previous videos. I've used that to create the Perlin voxel terrain. If you're interested in doing that, have a look at a previous video. And then I've just got a first-person shooter style controller so I can walk around. So whatever your world looks like, you can apply this sun to that, if it works. Right, so the first thing I did to prepare, as well as moving lots of plants around me, so it looks like I'm in a little jungle, and I'm in a different room. I don't know if the sound quality will be better in here. It's a bit echoey upstairs in my new house, but let's see. Right, I've made sure that my skybox, which is procedural, which means that when the directional light in your scene changes, then the procedural kind of like colours dynamically change, which is nice. And you can change, the thickness and things. If you haven't seen a skybox before, there you go. That's quite nice. That's quite spacey. I've made sure that the sun size is 0, because if I leave it at a certain size, as you see now, you can. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit bad on my trackpad. There we go. Oh, where's it gone? Yes, the sun. There'll be 2 suns basically if you leave it with a size beyond bigger than 0. So make sure that whatever skybox you've got, your sun size is 0. Now we're going to create our new sun. So I'm going to go to create game object, 3D object, and cube. And so there we go. We've got a giant cube in the air, or a 1 by 1 by 1 cube in the air. We want to make him giant. So the Z, we want 100. Y we want 100 as well. And then X we can leave at 1. So basically we've got that. That's our pixel sun. And it's important that our Z is 100 because that's the direction of our directional light when we attach it, so that it will sync up. Like the procedural skybox will sync up in terms of being light or dark with the direction that our sun is pointing. So when it goes underneath our world, it will go dark. I'm saying this very confidently. Will that actually be the case? So next we want to, let's change the color of our pixel sun. So in assets folder, I'm going to go to create, not a script, a material, and let's call this sun skin. And then the shader we're going to choose just needs to be simple. We just want an unlit color to keep it simple as possible, and then we can choose our color. I'm going to go for an orangey yellow, or am I tempted? I'm going to go for a green, because I'm going to imagine this is like an alien planet or something, so we could have a green sun. So next, let's apply that material to our sun. There we go, he's now green. Let's change his name, sun 2. There we go. Let's have a look at him in game. Let's make sure he's looking okay. Right. Oh, I'm going to drop past him. There he is. Right, he's kind of in the middle of our world at the moment. So definitely what we need to do is make sure he's high up in the air. So let's start him at 0, 0, 0 to begin with, and then put him maybe 5, 12, a nice computational number, in the air. Right, there we go. Now, we need to create a script so that, 1, it points towards wherever the player is. So it gives the illusion that it's very, very far away. and then we want to rotate it around maybe the player's position. Okay, so let's create a script. So in assets again, create C# script this time, and we'll call this sun orbit. You can call it whatever you like. Okay, sun orbit. I'm going to open that up in Mono Developer. There we go. It's staying red. Please don't go red. Change, right. So what do we need? I'm just going to assume that this script will calm down. It seems to be very... Maybe if I save it, maybe if I go back to Unity. Does that ever happen to you? In Mono Developer, everything stays red and unhappy. It's still red. What's the matter? Anyway, let's start typing some code. So the first thing we need is to be able to get hold of our player so that we can tell the object to look at the player. So we need a public game object. And we'll just call this player. There we go. Again, I don't like my scripts not changing from this horrible red color. What on earth is going on? I'm going to attach the script to Sun2. Oh, that might have changed. There's a little bit of a lag there. It might be Unity sorting out its scripts. I deleted the previous version, the orbit script, which I made in the last video. So let's attach this script now to the sun before we forget. It looks like the script is working. So that public variable player has now appeared in the inspector because I made it public. And now, while I'm here, I can drag my player position, game object into there. There we go. So now we've populated that. It's still red. It's still red in here. Okay, so in the update function, what we want to do is firstly say this transform, so that's the sun cube, this transform dot look at, and we want it to look at the player's transform position. Okay, I'll save that now, and it's still red. Why is it red? Let's see if we can just play. Maybe that'll shake Unity up. I'll have a swig of tea. Bake. Something's baking. Right, it's not... it's definitely not looking at our player. So there's something wrong with the script. Something's going on. Right, we've got a bug. So this might be a bug you encounter, so this might be helpful. Let's see. Sun2. Let's open up sun orbit. It's still red. Sorry, I heard... Oh, there's rain. It's raining outside in the conservatory. It's playing like the drums on the conservatory. Right, I'm going to close down Mono Developer and reload in a moment because something's going wrong. Let's open up some sun orbit. Oh, do leave in the comments if you know why that wasn't working for me. It still looks... Oh, now the colours are here. So let's just make this nice and big for you. There we go. So we've got all the right colours. So our script should now be working. Let's have a look. And so all we want to happen is the sun just to look at us, to pay some attention. So at the moment it's kind of like a big slice in the sky. It should now turn and look more like a pixel, like a big cube. And it's not worked. It has not worked at all. Well, it is working. As I'm walking, it's turning around. So it must mean I've created it the wrong size or something. Let's have a look. Where's it Z? Oh, it's Z. Where is it Z? Sun 2. X is that way. Z is that way. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, mesh renderer. I'm going to, while I'm here, I'm going to turn off all the blend probes, light probes, receive shadows we don't want, motion vectors, don't want to mess with that, and we do want, we can take off the box collider, it's not going to collide with anything, and we do want to add a component, we want to add a directional light. So you go to add component, rendering, and then light, and we want, sorry, I was in the materials there, we want not a point light, but a directional light. And we can leave it real time. The color, oh, we have got it orientated the wrong way. Look, it's kind of, you can see the directional light is pointing that way. What on earth have I done? So maybe I'll make this 100. That's more like it. Okay, let's just see. Oh, there we go. So we've got X100, Y100, Z1. And now, yeah, its rays are kind of pointing in the right direction. Okay, there we go. So where was I? So we've added a directional light, and I'm going to use the color picker to select the same green, so we kind of match up what's going on there. So now, when I run, one, it should look a lot lighter. Yes. And two, it should be, yes, pointing towards us. Brilliant. So I'll put on my my little ball fountain again to celebrate. And yes, wherever we go, the sun is pointing towards us. So now what we need to do is basically, oh, I like this quality of light. It's kind of realistic, kind of eerie. We now want to make sure it's rotating or orbiting around the world. Okay. So I'm going to minimize all of these. There we go. Maybe I'll leave the script enlarged. So we'll go back to Mono Developer, which wasn't behaving earlier. And after, in the update loop, we've made the sun look at our player's position. We then want to do what we did in the last tutorial, which is again to grab hold of the sun's transform, and then we want to choose rotate around. And we could do two things. Last time we chose vector 3, 0, which is Unity's shorthand for the position in the world 0, 0, 0. We could choose that, or we could choose what we've done above. We could choose the player's transform position. There we go. Let's just go onto a different line so you can see it. Right. Second parameter is what axis you'd like it to rotate around. So we're going to choose the vector 3 x axis, which is saved as right by Unity. And then finally, how much we want it to move by. So like the previous video, I'm going to create a variable here called theta, which is going to be a public float. So we can change this value by other scripts or in the inspector at the start. It's going to be a public float theta, and default, let's make it quite fast, 0.6. That's quite a fast speed, I think. Okay, right, this is quite exciting. Our script is finished now. This is maybe the conclusion of our task, our tutorial, which I kind of bumbled through. I hope hope this has been helpful. There we go. Where is our sun? Oh, there it goes. And yes, it's in sync with the quality of the light. It's going underneath the world. It's now nighttime. And do we get a sunrise? A Lion King moment. There he is. We've got our Minecraft. Oh, style sun. Oh, I didn't like that. It kind of it kind of turned around when I turned around, which gave a bizarre kind of feeling. So maybe we do want it pointed at the player, but maybe we could, yeah, that's a weird effect. That's strange. We could maybe constrain its movement on the Z. I might try that. Firstly, I'm going to try rotating it around, not the player, but around vector 3, 0. Let's just see how that looks. Fun to play around with some things. And then we'll see if we can correct that weird rotation bug. The moment of silence we enjoyed together there. Right, I'm in the world. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so the directional lighting is still in sync. Let's just watch watch my fountain. There we go. Oh, I missed the sun. I missed the sunrise. Right, now if I'm looking up and turn around, yeah, it's doing the strange thing again. It's really weird. Okay, but it's rotating around 0, which looks kind of okay. I reckon we should always have it pointing at vector 3, 0, which would mean you don't get that weird kind of feel. It feels like, I don't know how it looked in the video, but when you know which way you're kind of looking, you're kind of orientating yourself according to the sun, and if it's moving relative to you in the opposite direction, it kind of felt very dizzying. I don't know if that came across in the video, but now if we've got a constant vector position that it's pointed at, maybe we won't get that disorientating kind of feeling. And then maybe we could say you're rotating around the player. Well, let's not change too many factors at once, else we won't really keep a track of what's going on. So we'll call this 0. There we go. Let's see how he looks this time. Okay. How long has this video been? It should be like a, I don't know, 5-minute job, something like that. Right. But we're experimenting. We're doing some other things. So there he goes. He goes underneath. And will he rise in a kind of pleasing way? Yes. Now when we look at him and turn around, brilliant. We don't get that problem, and actually that's exactly what we want. There we go. I think that's pretty good. So we've got day-night cycles, very Minecrafty style. I do love that pixel effect. I think it's a really cool idea. It kind of places you in a kind of computerized world or space. It's really nice. Okay, there we go. I hope some of that was fun, if not useful. But there we go. That's how you can create a pixel sun in Unity. In the comments, do leave any ideas for what you'd like me to do next, or questions about this nonsense that I just did. So thank you very much. Goodbye.